Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a video on Chun-Li's OT Hazanshu into the Air Stomps combo and why that whiffs on certain characters like Marisa and Blanka. And in order to explain that, I want to give just a brief explanation of how hitboxes and hurtboxes work in Street Fighter 6. So we have here on screen Chun-Li and Ryu. Now if you look at Ryu's green boxes around him, that's his hurtboxes. That's where I need to hit him in order to like get a hit, right? Now the blue box inside him is his grab box. That's where you need to hit him with a throw to get him. And the yellow boxes around the blue box, you can see there's like another box kind of inside it that reaches outwards. That's his collision box. That's like how far I can go with my own set of yellow collision boxes before we like touch and I start shoving him away. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Now, most characters in the game share these set of boxes. Whether they're standing, crouching, or jumping, they'll be the same across most of the cast. But there are some differences, and I want you to pay attention now. So look at Ryu's feet. You can see how his foot is sticking just barely outside of the hurt box. So I want to keep your eye on the edge of his hurt box here where my mouse is hovering, okay? I'm gonna swap to Marisa. So Marisa, here. Again, keep an eye on the hurt box. And you'll see on Marisa, see how hers reaches further forward, is closer to Chun-Li. That's because Marisa herself is a wider character. She has a wider set of boxes. She's also a slightly taller. So, you know, there are some differences like this between characters in Street Fighter. Now, I'm gonna swap to Blanka, who's not as tall as Marisa, right? But again, keep an eye on the edge of her hurtbox here on her feet. We're gonna swap to Blanka, and you'll notice, oh, Blanka is shifted even further forward. Even though Blanka is equally as wide as Marisa, his whole boxes are like shifted forward slightly, probably to match his animation, you know, how he's like hunched forward. I guess that makes sense for him. So, and we'll switch to E Honda here, and you'll notice that E Honda and Blanka, they will share the same, like they will reach as far forward, and E Honda is a very wide character himself. And the same for when I swap to Zangief here, he will also be the same as E Honda. However, he is also a taller, like Marisa was. Now, this is important because I need to explain to you now that even though these characters are all wider and they share some similarities to the hurtboxes, that isn't necessarily the case when you knock them down. So I'll show you here. When I do this combo on Zangief, you'll notice that it works, even though he's wider like Marisa. Now, this is the reason why. If I do this in slow motion here, if I freeze frame, I'm going to hold that forward, so Chun is going to jump as soon as he can. Then we're going to do air stomps. See the first frame of my air stomps here? You'll see how Chun-Li and Zangief's hurtboxes are like pretty much touching each other. And that's because Capcom had the foresight to give Zangief and E Honda wider hurtboxes in the air as well, like when you knock them down. Which makes sense, they are wider characters. So that's why this combo still works on Zangief and E Honda as well. But when I swap to Maurice, that's where the problem begins. Now, even though she's a wider character, when I hit her with the EX Hazanshu, sorry, you'll notice that it whiffs. And why is that? I'll show you why. And we're gonna go here frame by frame so you can see this easier. So we're gonna jump forward. We're gonna do air stomps. See the first frame of air stomps here? Remember how Zangief was touching Chun-Li's hurtbox? You'll notice that Marisa isn't. She's further away. And that's because characters like Marisa and Blanka, even though they have a wider set of hurtboxes and collision boxes when they're on the ground, when you knock them down, that isn't the case. Marisa and Blanka have normal size hurtboxes when they get knocked down. And that's why the air stomps whiff here. Now you might be wondering, why doesn't it whiff on all the characters with normal size hurtboxes in the air then? Again, that's because of the collision boxes here. Because Marisa and Blanka are wider characters, their collision boxes are shifted further forward. That means that after doing OD Hazanshu, Chun-Li is left further away. Like if I do this, because the collision boxes are wider, Chun-Li can't reach as far forward, so she's left further away after the move hits. That's why it only works on Zangief and Honda, because they also have wider hurtboxes in the air. I hope all of this is making sense to you. Like, even though Street Fighter 6 is a very homogenized game when it comes to the hitboxes and its design around the hurtboxes and things like that, there are still some nuances with characters like this that have a large set of boxes. Like Marisa, Zangief, and JP, even DJ a little bit, they're all taller than the rest of the crew. So like instant overhead setups and some character specifics like that can be easier on them. And when it comes to Marisa and Blanka, when you knock them down, they also have unique combos because they have a wider set of hurtboxes and collision box on the ground, but when you knock them into the air, they have normal size. So things like that can dictate combo routes. And in this case, it has this effect of making OD Hazanshu into air stomps with Marisa and Blanka specifically. Yeah, there are more character specifics like this, like I said, and you'll just have to explore and lab, where they are. I hope this all made sense. If you have any questions or you're confused about something, just ask and I'll be happy to answer. And yeah, hope you learned something. Cheers.